it also, I like to think of it in sort of this 3-layered way. So the first layer is the body. Of course, you have the body keeping the records, right? You fall, there's a bump, and then there's scar tissue or whatever, or you get tense, and if the tension doesn't resolve, like over time, there's chronic stress stored in your body. So there's definitely a body piece. And then in my work, what I work with in particular is the field, meaning in the biofield tuning, we talk about 6 feet out in either direction is sort of the records of time. That 6 feet out mark is the birth, and then coming in childhood, and then the teenage years, and then the body is the present moment. So like the rings of the tree, we can sort of, if I hit a point that has a disturbance, I'm able to tell what age that happened and confirm that with the client and so on. So the field has records too. Field also has not records from your lifetime. If you think of your DNA, it's been shown that actually your DNA emits a magnetic field, and within DNA are stores of your ancestral records of trauma mostly and other gifts, but what we end up getting affected by most are the records of trauma from that. And if you look beyond that, we people like Rupert Sheldrake talk about the morphic field. So we as a species have records of what worked for us and what didn't work for us, records of wisdom, records of fear, and records of sadness. Okay, and then the third piece is, so the body is the first, the field, the energy body is the second, and then the third piece is how you relate to that. And you can think of it as the mental piece, because you can find an amazing massage therapist. They're going to work on you. You're going to feel amazing. You can find healers who will neutralize your field, and it's going to feel amazing. But until you make peace with that thing that happened when you were 15, that thing that happened when you were 5, you're not going to be able to enjoy any of that to the extent that you can.
So I want to talk a little bit more about the specific tools that you like to use, because I think people may not fully understand exactly what you mean by biofield tuning or by chakra healing. And so you were explaining a bit before about how you basically see the way we exist in this world, that there's this physical body, that there's this energetic component. And then I like how you also talked about how you relate to the fact that this is going on for you. That's a really interesting piece of it as well. So can you just explain a little bit more so that people can just wrap their brain about what are you talking about with these energy fields?
Okay, so I'm gonna tie it to energetic wounds, which is the main premise of my work is healing energetic wounds. Whether you do it yourself, self-healing, or whether you work with a healer like me, it's all about looking at your patterns and vibrations and seeing what no longer works for you. And in that scheme, let's say that there are 2 people in the same situation in an accident, okay? It's a car accident, whatever. And one of them comes out the next week, and let's say, nothing hugely physical happened, but it was scary. One of them is going to come out the next week, and she's going to begin to have these intense stomach aches. Okay. And then the other one's going to come out of it and will have intense tension at the back of their throat and on their shoulders. We have wounding patterns starting from day 0, even before in the womb. We begin to absorb the vibrational patterning of our caregivers and parents. So those, in conjunction with your life experiences, as well as in conjunction with the experiences of your ancestors, are going to determine how physicality or physical discomfort will show up for you. Mm-hmm. So you may come to me with physical discomfort at the back of your throat, and it's going to mean something, or it's going to tell us something. And another person may come to me with the same thing, and it's going to mean completely something else. So how does the chakra philosophy and the chakra symbology come into play with this? In biofield tuning, we work with what's called the biofield map. For instance, on the third chakra, above the belly button, below the heart, on the right side, we have the liver, which we say holds on the right side of the field. You can access the records that are related to your masculinity as well as your dad. Also in the Chinese medicine, the organ liver is associated with your dad or paternal influences. On the third chakra, left side, we have the spleen, and that side is associated with the vibration and influences from your mom. And also powerlessness, because as babies, we need that care. And if we don't get it, we're powerless against it. So issues of power. So this is the more sadness type of part on the mother side, powerless. And then on the right side, on the liver side, it presents itself as anger. Okay, so it is a framework, meaning when I tune into you, which then goes into, and we can talk more about the intuition part of this. When you first book something with me, I'm going to tune into you and say, okay, like the third chakra left, your mother's side, your mother wound is where we're going to start, because that's the most pressing. That's like the most alarming. And once we work with that, we're going to see what else that might have. That might have on the second chakra, right side, guilt and shame. That might have issues of not being able to speak your truth or not being heard. That might have issues of not feeling loved and so on. So it's a complex and elegant system. Your symptoms are unique to you. But when you get that stomach ache, when you get, in my work, when I'm either, if I'm working with crystals or tuning forks, I always ask people, what are you sensing and noticing in the body? What are you sensing? What are you not able to sense and notice in the body? Where is numbness? Where is tingling? Where is heat? Where is the feeling of heaviness? Your body is very literal. Like if you lose someone, you're going to get a heartache. If you are not able to perhaps express something that needs expressing, like a boundary that needs to be put out, you're going to feel it in your throat. So pay attention to your body. And then if you find it's hard to decipher that, you come see someone like me.